everybody. Welcome back to Coffee Chats. I'm so glad you've joined us again for another week. I am Emily Nagel, and I'm here with my dear friends, Tyler and Rachel Trantham. They are from Faith Community Church, and we have been worshiping together, doing life together, wrestling through hard times together for several years now. And you guys know one of the most important things about our church is that we are a kingdom church. And so as I'm working on all this coffee chats, what do we want to talk about? Who do we want to talk with? I was like, I got to get my friends from another church and friends who have walked with me in growing in what community and kingdom look like. And so y'all are at the top of my list. Y'all are the first outside of New Covenant people that we wanted to talk with. And I just want to take this time to personally say thank you to both of you for cultivating community, for never having ego or pride. It's so refreshing and so easy to work with you guys and to just look at Jesus when I see you guys. And so thanks for joining me. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about a lot of this community stuff and worship stuff because that's what you guys are great at. But I want people to get to know you guys even a little better. So my first thing here is tell me a little bit about yourselves and kind of share how you guys got started in your leadership roles at Faith Community.
Go ahead.
Don't throw me out. Okay. So, of course, we have 3 kids. A little bit about ourselves. We have Abby, Hawk, and Jet. And how we got started with worship community. Gosh, how long ago did we start?
We started worshiping together, I think, or singing together, probably 2008, 2009, somewhere like that, and in another church, but really started to get see the importance of community, and that worship wasn't just a Sunday morning, like 15 or 20 minute segment, that it really was doing life together, and not just with us, but with people that were surrounding us. And so probably that long, and it's just been this hunger that's was, I think, started in us to go after more and look for it, find it, whatever that was. And here we are. We've been leading at Faith for about a little over 2 years in a leadership role. Before that, we were on the team there.
We've been there for 5 years.
We've been there for 5 years, leading worship. So we have a great team of people and community that we just do life together and try to not be just a Sunday morning group, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let us know what you do outside of faith. What are your other roles in life? Like, I know you guys mentioned your parents, but Tyler, you are a little unique. Some people wouldn't know if they saw you in your other role that you also are a worship leader. So
Yes.
what else do you do?
I've been a police officer for a little over going on 17 years. So I've been in law enforcement for that long. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm a cop, but I'm a worship pastor. So that's basically what I do outside of church and family, is that I've been in law enforcement for that long at the Waynesville Police Department. So that's me.
Me, I am an RN. So I work a couple of days a week outside the home doing that. And I'm a travel agent. So I do that at home. And then, that all allows me to be able to be at home with the kids.
She does a lot.
Yes, I was going to say lots of things.
When
lots
people
of things.
ask me what my job is, I have a really hard time. I'm like, do I tell them all of it? Or
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I loosely knew you guys, I guess 10 years ago or whatever, and I actually remember seeing you guys sing at that other church, and I know my parents, they were like, you got to meet these two. They're just lovely. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm going into Sherry Christopher real quick. I'm sorry. I love you, Mama. You know I can't say what you say without going into your voice. Don't kill me. Feed me lunch after this. Anyways, but Mom was like, I feel like you'd be friends with them. And I remember seeing you guys sing and lead worship there, and then seeing the progression of where you are now. I just want to hear, like, what does that look like for you guys? Because, I mean, the Lord's just taken you on a journey and, like, raised you up to be powerful, authority-carrying, like, mountain movers of worship leaders. And what does that look like over the past decade or so?
Yeah, so I would say our journey started when we were at our church before Faith, and Allison Bumgarner, I can't talk about our history without mentioning her. She's had such a huge impact on us and where we are now. But she came up to us one Sunday and said that she was thinking about starting a praise team, and that she felt the Lord lay our names on her heart. And so she came and asked us to pray about it. And I can see that, when I look back, that each step was just an opportunity for us to say yes. And that yes, our willingness and our yes of not knowing, okay, God, we don't know what this looks like, but we feel like you're wanting us to say yes to this, and just trusting him and stepping out on that. And that our yes has just led us deeper and deeper and deeper. And, it's amazing what God can do with a yes and a why not. Those are things we say a lot.
Yeah.
I think that just to build on that, some people ask us if we just like walk around our house singing together, or like if it's like a musical inside our house.
Kinda.
And sometimes it is like, it's become a way of life, I guess you could say. And I think that's really what worship is supposed to be, is a way of life. And not that we're like this super spiritual couple, because we have issues and we have our arguments and problems, but I think together we, actually on the way here this morning.
Yeah, on the way here.
So
Real life.
Yeah, it's real life. But we constantly chosen to say yes, even when it made no sense or it looked quote unquote crazy. If we felt God asking us to do this or that or whatever it may be, and just worshiping through those moments with our yes or our surrender, not just our song.
Yeah, amen.
And sometimes those are, they're not always big yeses. There are big yeses, but there's also little yeses that are just small little steps of just may seem something like it may seem so simple, but just those small little simple yeses have such a huge impact as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So one thing I mentioned in the beginning was just how you guys cultivate community so well. And I know a lot of that may even be from how you were raised or the community that you grew up in. For those of you who are outside of Western North Carolina, I think there's just something about community and having each other's back and this sense of family, even when we're not blood related or whatever. But what do you think it takes to cultivate that kind of community within a church and within a worship team, worship department, whatever that may look like? What are those elements that you're just like, this makes and breaks community and being able to be like Christ has designed it to be?
The first word that pops into my head is intentional, and just being intentional about it. It may not always be easy or our immediate, like what we go to. And we may have not grown up in that type of environment of allowing people outside of our family, our blood family, allowing people into our lives, because that can be very vulnerable. It is very vulnerable. Right. But going after that and being intentional of gathering together, finding your people, just doing life with your people. It can be, just getting together at your house and laughing, being stupid. We're really good at that. Being stupid together and laughing, eating together and worshiping together. And it just takes time to cultivate that trust and allowing people in, allowing people to speak into you, whether it is easy to hear or hard to hear. I think that's very important when you're making decisions, like big decisions. I know we have people that we allow, that we know, we trust, that they have our heart, they know our hearts. And we tell them all the time, if we have something that we feel like God's speaking to us, we'll sit down with them and be like, what do you feel about this? Like either way, like we want your advice because we respect and we trust you. Yeah. So just being intentional about creating that.
Yeah, and those are people we lead. I think sometimes you can, in a leadership role, think that you're higher or above, or you have to carry this persona of I've got it together, and I know I don't have any issues or whatever that may be. And I think for us, just being vulnerable and being intentional about that is it's not easy, but I think it does build trust. And I'm kind of echoing what she said, but if your people don't trust you, it's really hard to lead them to a place they've never been. And in leading people in a community, I think that's one of the most important things for us. We want people to trust us, and when we may say yes to something, they may not get it or understand, but they know and they trust us. Right. And having that openness to where I'm not afraid to go to some maybe quote unquote one of the sheep that I'm leading to say, what do you think about this? what do you think about what's on our hearts on this situation? And empowering people, making them feel like they can come to you and talk to you about things. You know, there's been a lot of front porch sessions and about things that really are deep and hard and uncomfortable, but it's life. And I do think that maybe we, the church, the big church, have gotten away from that to where we can be open with each other to say, hey, there's a reason I came to the altar this morning, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that I'm living in sin or I'm totally jacked up. It may be, but it may also be that I'm just being vulnerable, and I need you to hear me on this and help me. You know, the other night, it was a couple nights ago, I had a terrible day. And I just sat down and I wrote some stuff out about how I felt and just walked through that day. And I shared that with Rachel. I shared that with some other people because I felt like their community, they can speak into me and they may hear something or see something in that that may help me climb out of whatever I was in. And I think that's really, honestly, is the most important thing about community. That you have people that they're not just going to be there to help you do physical labor or come do things in that manner, but they're there to step in when things are hard and tough. And that's what we love about leading and the communities we have is because we truly feel like it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit on something that I want us to kind of dive into is this season. And just the way you were processing. Can you guys kind of just share with us, one thing I've been asking everybody that I've talked to the last couple of weeks is what has this season looked like for you? What have you done? Even just like you were saying, like writing it out and then sharing it. Is there anything else that you guys are doing in this season? And Rachel, you and I talked about this just right before we started, but what are the things you're doing to walk through this season and to be vulnerable in this season? What is that, and especially raising children, like what does that look like for you all?
I think we've ever since the beginning, we've constantly tried to take the approach of what is God doing and look for that. And there's a lot of other things we could be looking at and paying attention to, and we certainly are paying attention to things. It's just our main focus needs to be on what's he doing in this season and what's he asking us to do. And as far as raising our kids and talking them through this and just being real with them, even though they're small. But what a funny story out of that is, and if I get choked up, I'm sorry, but talking to them about this, and my son Hawk, who he's a worshiper. If you know him, you know that. He starts writing these songs about coronavirus and kicking coronavirus in the teeth and all these things but they're so good. It was like this song was coming out of him in this season to even help his parents.
Right. And the lyrics were, go coronavirus, you can't stay. And he sang that a couple of times. And then he said, go and punch your own master in the face. And I'm like, whoa, Tyler, he is sending it back to the devil.
Yeah, no, for real. That's amazing.
So we've sang it.
Yeah, we just sing it every now and then because I feel like that's a song that came out of him in this season. And to speak on that, there are songs in this season. We've heard that. Rachel's even wrote a couple of things, and there's songs that are coming out of this. So this is not, I don't look at it as a negative. I really am trying to look to see what God's doing and what's he saying and what's going to come out of this for generations to come. And I'll let her talk in a minute. But I also think it's important that our kids see how we respond in this moment.
Absolutely.
They'll be talking about this for years. 20, 30 years from now, someone will bring it up and they'll say, well, how did your parents deal with this? And since day one, that's been on our heart, is that our kids saw us respond in a way that will leave a lasting impact on them, so that when something happens to them or in their life in 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to say, wait a minute, I remember my parents and how they acted and how they responded. And so that's, as far as in our family, that's kind of how we've walked through these days.
And we have a choice to either become a victim to something or an overcomer. And I want to model that for my kids. Of like, I don't want them to become a victim to this.
Right.
I want them to choose to be overcomers and choose to look and see what God's doing. Like, yeah, all this stuff is going on, and they can't see their cousins, they can't go to Mimi and Papa's for lunch on Sundays, and that's how our 5-year-old relates, that he can't see his cousin Joe,
Right.
and it bothers him. But that they can choose to not be a victim to it and to be an overcomer. And just like he said, I've just really felt God through this whole thing of, like I told you before, of I just felt God like just kind of grabbing my shoulders of like, I really need my people to get this, that you are not citizens of this world.
Right.
You are in the world, but you're not of the world. You walk in a different kingdom. You are here on earth, but you're also seated in heavenly places, and that you walk in a higher kingdom. We live higher, we walk higher, we're above all of this. And I felt him ask me, like, okay, when Jesus walked the earth, what did he do? Like, how did he model? Because when Jesus walked this earth, there was a lot of governmental corruption, chaos going on. How did he respond to that? And we saw him being about his Father's business, that he respected and he honored the government. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Respect and honor the government, but he was looking for what his Father was doing. And he was going to that. In the midst of chaos, in the midst of everything, he knew that his Father was working, and he was about his Father's business, and he was looking for what his Father was doing, and he wasn't driven by what was going on in the world. He knew he walked in a different kingdom, and that's where we walk. And so I think that's just been so powerful on my heart, of like, I've felt God speaking that through this whole thing of like, Rachel, stay focused. There may be some truth to this over here. There may be some truth to this over here, but what am I doing?
Right.
Stay focused. Keep your heart and your eyes locked on me.
And just like in a practical sense with our team, before this started, probably like 4 or 5 days, we had our worship life group. That's when we all come together once a month. And I felt like God before that, and it was really, it didn't have, we knew this was kind of building with coronavirus, and things would maybe start changing.
But no idea would change that.
No idea that it was going to, like, in a matter of days, we'd go from gathering to not gathering. And that Monday before, I think that Friday when the announcement was made, we met, and I just felt like God wanted me to talk to them about worship and about the congregation, corporate worship, and how important it is, but also that if our focus is on the response, then our focus is wrong. We should be focused on, when we're leading worship, on whether or not there's a response in the room.
Right.
Or whether or not the room's empty or full.
Whether or not the room's empty
like
or full. And I even said that. I said, what if we had to stand up here with a white sheet in front of us where we couldn't see anybody out there, and we led worship? How would that affect you?
Yeah.
And just talking about our heart, and when Jesus was talking to the woman at the well, and he told her that something had changed in that moment, that it was no longer about the experiences that they had had, it's now about spirit and truth, and that's how we're going to worship from now on. And so I talked to him about that, and in a matter of days, that happened. And I felt our team has responded in a great way, and I feel like it was almost like preparation for being able to lead in a room when there's nobody there. And that's tough. If you've ever led worship or you've ever been, you know what I'm saying. It's so weird to begin with, but there's been preparation for this, and our team, and that's one of I think probably something we've been intentional about is just, if you can't worship in your secret place, then you can't lead worship on a stage.
Amen. Say that again.
Or if you can't lead worship in the middle of a tent with nobody out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the comment I made is that I would personally take a tent or a room or a field, whatever, at 4 a.m. in the morning with 4 other people than a room full of people that's not engaged or not engaged, but not there for the right reason or were there for performance. That the heart of who we are and what we do in worship is not dictated by a place.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So good. Thank you guys so much for your responses, and especially with, the parenting side, because I don't have kids yet, but I can't imagine walking through that and, even with your teams and just everything that you guys are navigating. And thank you for doing that so excellent. And just the heart of Christ that you guys walk and lead with is amazing. I do want to switch gears because here at Coffee Chats we do like a little theology, a little serious, but then we also like a little fun. So since I have you guys and you're a married couple, I thought, why don't we take a little bit of the newlywed game and flip it on its head. I'm going to ask y'all some questions about each other. You can give him one of these clipboards. This has all been sanitized.
Thanks.
And we are 6 feet apart. It's trying to be hello.
Yeah, and we live together, so.
So, real quick though, my last question before we start our little game here. What is your favorite song to lead and that you would try to put in every worship set?
Wow. Okay, let me think. Oh my gosh.
One song. You just love it, and you're like, if I could try to get this on every worship set, I would.
I would say.
Gosh, that's hard.
Is it really hard? I really like. Okay, so like part of me wants to say "Tremble" because I love that song and it's just a powerful song. And the other part of me wants to say "Egypt" because
It's awesome.
it's awesome. I love leading that song.
I would do Raise a Hallelujah because I get to do it with you.
Oh, there we go. He's trying to get in a few more points before the game starts.
Yes.
So he's like,
See,
ooh.
I saw where you were going.
Yeah. You're slick Rick over there. All right, friends. Here we go. So just write your answer. Do not look. No cheating. Especially with our high-priced props here.
I got it.
All right. Where was your first date? And you can write it big. I got lots of paper there so you can sling it like they do on the TV show when you're done.
Oh, I need to write it big?
I mean, you can.
Okay.
You can do whatever. Where was your first date? Oh. All right. Flip them around. Tyler, where was it? Truck stop. He got ribs. Oh, she ate ribs.
No, I didn't get ribs
You
there.
didn't get ribs there? I
Not
thought you
there.
did.
They don't have ribs.
Oh, sorry.
How
Our
dare you.
Truck
second
stop.
date was at TGI Fridays, and that's where I got
Oh,
ribs.
wow. He took you. He said, this second day I'm coming up, taking you from the truck stop to TGI Fridays. Yeah. All right.
Truck stop.
Yeah. Hey, come on. 209 Cafe. Shout out. Hey, shout out. I didn't have a local shout out this week. We're going to go ahead and shout out 209 Cafe.
There we
Because I
go.
love that breakfast.
Yes.
Don't mess with my breakfast there. That is some good stuff. All right. Just keep it in line on, throw it.
All right.
Our production team will pick it up, a.k.a. me. All right. What was your spouse wearing on the first date?
Holy goodness.
When was that, by the way? What year was that?
2004.
2004. How old were y'all?
I was 17, and he was 23.
Hey, that's how my parents were. That's how that was their age gap there. All right. What were they wearing? Do y'all remember? Oh.
I have literally.
All right. Flip them around. Let's see here. A shirt and pants. Okay. One
I
can
have
only-
no idea.
You got no idea. That's all right. Very good. We're very creative there and specific, Rach. Appreciate that
Yeah.
one. All right. The next question. What's their weirdest quirk?
Oh,
Now, don't let this start nothing on the ride home.
Like a quirk that he has? About something?
Weirdest quirk. He knew right away, Rach. What's that saying?
Oh, my gosh. He knew right away.
I think this is, it's definitely a quirk. It's weird.
What's their weirdest quirk? Oh, she writing a novel over here.
She's making a list.
Yeah, she's like, I got 10 things real quick, if you don't mind. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
Good gosh.
I don't know how to say
We're
this.
going to get her another pen.
I don't know how to say it. I'll
All right,
explain.
flip them
You'll
around
explain?
here. What's their
Okay.
weirdest quirk? Tyler said she can one-hand
Wait.
clap.
Quirk. That ain't a quirk.
Yes, it is.
That ain't a
Yes,
quirk.
it is.
That's a hidden talent.
That's a
All
hidden
right.
talent.
No, you do it like in the middle of something, though. You'll just start.
Oh, my God.
I will, but that's a hidden talent.
I don't
A
know.
quirk is something that's like some little weird thing you have about you.
So what did you say, Ray?
So-
That's what.
I said he doesn't like for stuff to pile up in specific places. So like on our bar, there's this little round thing, and I just start putting stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it really bothers him.
I understand. That's a little bit of that Blake Stanberry coming out.
Yes.
He likes
yes.
order.
Yeah. Gotta keep
Yeah.
it. Gotta keep it tidy. All right. Next question. Who said I love you first? Who said I love you first?
I get extra credit, too.
Oh my goodness.
Now he's writing a novel.
Novel. Yeah. Now he's being specific. All right. Flip him around. She did Dirt Road on Fines Creek.
Oh, wait, see, I thought you did.
No, you did.
Well, I think I was nudging you towards it.
She's like,
But
"You
that doesn't
better."
count. You
I
did.
was like prodding
I
you.
knew where
Is
it was
that the
at,
word?
though.
When you say nothing at all.
Oh, my days.
Next question here. Which Disney character are they most like? Which Disney character are they most like? That one's a little hard.
That's hard. Oh gosh.
Nope, Tyler's got it.
Are we
Oh, no, he
going?
didn't.
Are we going all around?
All
Disney?
around
Yeah,
any
total.
Disney.
Any-
like
Disney.
Marvel.
Sure.
Okay.
Wow. If that's the case.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I
anything,
got it.
Anything
I got it.
owned by the Disney umbrella, which is truly everything in the
Yes,
world.
I mean, that could be. You're going to love this. She's half and half.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Flip it around. Let's see here. Rachel said Captain America with a love
Oh.
heart.
I
He said
said,
half Belle, half Black
Oh,
Widow.
amen.
There we go. Hey, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. What is their favorite pizza topping? Just one thing. Favorite pizza topping.
This is hard for you.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
because you like everything.
They could only pick one pizza topping. Oh, he's stressing. Who knew that the pizza topping would break this man? Who knew this would be the one? This would break him. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's see what it is. Rachel,
it's
you
not
said
specific, but I know it.
cheese.
And hers is meat. some
Okay,
sort
there
of
you
meat.
go.
Yeah, meat. Yeah, I like meat.
There we go. All right. What celebrity would your spouse like to get stuck with on a desert island?
What celebrity? Oh gosh. Would he like to get stuck with on a desert island?
Bear Grylls. Somebody's resourceful. What celebrity would your spouse like to get stuck with on a desert island?
I don't know.
Yeah, scribble something down. Scribble. Oh my gosh. All right, flip 'em around. Rachel said Danny Reagan. I mean, who is that?
That's off of Blue Bloods.
Oh, Blue Bloods. Okay,
He's a
okay, okay.
detective
Nice.
on
I
Blue.
like it. I like it. All right, and you said
Pioneer.
Pioneer Woman. Hey, come on now.
Yes.
Look, that's
See?
good.
Yes, that's good. Mm-hmm.
All right. What would be their go-to karaoke song? Go-to karaoke song. What would be their go-to karaoke song? And maybe you guys are watching at home, and you should do this with your spouse. Take these questions and see what they would say, because I'm sure you would be wildly entertained. All right, y'all got it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back.
You're going back?
I'm going way back
All right.
Me too.
Oh,
with a pen.
This means very specific.
he's like, yeah, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. All right, flip 'em around. Rachel said Tyler would pick anything Alabama.
Probably.
All right, all right. Something from Kenny Chesney
With a pinch of Wu-Tang Clan.
with a pinch of Wu-Tang Clan.
She's got a little bit of,
Who's
like,
Wu-Tang?
girl.
Come on now.
She's got a little bit of, like, she can rattle
yeah.
off a rap song.
Okay, okay.
You take me back to my high school
Hey.
songs. It's
All right,
amazing
one
how
last
those things
one
get
last
stuck in there.
Hey, you know, it's back in the vault. All right, one last question. If they could throw a themed party, what would the theme be? A themed party. What would the theme be? Oh my. They
Oh,
could
I was thinking
throw-
for myself. Oh gosh, I
No,
gotta
no,
think
no.
for him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
A
For your spouse. If your
themed
spouse is going to
party.
throw a themed party, what would the theme be?
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Oh my gosh, this is hard.
Any theme. Oh, he's got it. Look at her look at you intently, Tyler. She's trying to.
You're gonna have to get your stuff together.
I'm trying to get in your head. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to come up with
Hurry,
something
'cause
now.
We're running out of time.
We're running out of
I
time.
feel the pressure.
These people are hungry. They
Yeah.
want to eat.
You are struggling.
Okay.
Outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy stuff. I'm not sure what that is, but all
have no
right. And
idea.
you said something about a beach or an
Yeah,
island.
yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, Tyler and Rachel, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for indulging me in my silly little game here. I hope everybody learned a little bit more about you guys. Thank you for your insight and sharing your heart. We love and appreciate you. We love and appreciate Faith Community Church is one of our partner churches. We love to collaborate with you guys, and it's an honor. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves, and come back and join us next week. We love you guys. Bye.